Baby, we need to talk. My hands are shaking even as I say this, because I know once these words leave my chest, there's no taking them back. For so long, I've carried this secret like a chain around my soul, pretending I was strong enough to hold it, pretending silence would protect you, pretending distance would shield you from the truth that has been clawing at me every single night. But baby, I can't do it anymore. The secret is too heavy to carry alone, and if I don't tell you now, it will crush me completely. I've tried to bury it. God knows I've tried. I've drowned it in distractions, in late-night conversations that meant nothing, in smiles that were hollow, in nights staring at the ceiling, begging sleep to come so I wouldn't have to think about what I hid from you. But every time I close my eyes, I hear your voice, I see your face, and the truth beats against my ribs like it's demanding to be free. And baby, it's not just a secret, it's a confession, it's a wound, it's a shadow that's been living between us, even when I thought I was protecting you from it. The truth is, I wasn't honest, not about what I felt, not about what I feared, not about the demons I was fighting when I looked you in the eyes and swore I was fine. Baby, I was never fine. I was broken, and I was terrified that if you knew the depths of it, if you saw the whole of me, the scared, the ashamed, the restless, the weak, you'd leave. And so instead of opening my chest and handing you the messy truth, I put on masks. I carried shadows in silence. I chose to bleed in the dark rather than let you see where I was hurting. And now that choice haunts me, because the silence built walls and the walls pushed you away, and the distance turned into oceans. And still, you stayed longer than anyone else would have. You leaned in when I pulled away. You whispered hope when I was drowning in doubt. You loved me even when you could feel I wasn't giving you all of me. And that love, baby, it's the only thing that's kept me breathing. Do you know what kills me the most? That the very thing I thought would protect you, my silence, was the very thing that hurt you. Because while I thought I was sparing you from my storms, I was really letting you weather them alone. You carried the weight of my distance, my coldness, my absence, thinking it was your fault, thinking maybe you weren't enough. Baby, you were always enough. It was me. It was always me. The secret I've been carrying. It's that I wasn't just lost. I was scared of the love you gave me. Scared because it was too real, too pure, too powerful. Scared because it stripped away the lies I had built around myself to survive. Scared because every time you touched me, every time you looked into me, I felt exposed, like you could see the boy in me I spent years hiding behind walls. And instead of embracing that, I ran, not away from you, but from the version of me I didn't know how to face. But baby, I can't run anymore. This secret has turned into fire in my veins, and I know now that the only way to heal is to speak it, even if my voice shakes. I loved you. I still love you. I never stopped. And everything I did to distance myself, to silence myself, to push you away, it wasn't because I didn't care. It was because I cared so much that it terrified me. And I thought if I let you too close, you'd see just how unworthy I really was. You see, the world told me love was a game, that you had to win, that you had to control, that you had to hold power. But when you came into my life, you rewrote every rule. You didn't want to win against me. You wanted to win with me. You didn't want control. You wanted connection. And that scared me more than anything, because I had never been seen that clearly before. And instead of standing still and letting you love me, I sabotaged. I chose silence over confession, distance over presence, fear over faith. And now I sit here, whispering into this empty space, praying somehow these words reach you, praying you'll understand that I'm not hiding anymore. Baby, we need to talk, because if I don't, I'll lose the last chance I have to be real with you. And if being real costs me you, then at least I'll know I told you the truth, that I wasn't the man you thought I was. When I pushed you away, I was weaker, but I'm trying now. I'm fighting now. I'm opening now. You once told me love isn't about perfection, it's about honesty. And I failed you there. I gave you pieces of my heart while hiding the rest. I gave you promises with cracks in them. But today, I want to give you all of it. The broken, the bleeding, the healing, the whole. Because even if my voice trembles, even if my hands shake, even if my confession costs me everything, I need you to know the secret I've been carrying. I need you to know the weight wasn't you. It was me, and I can't hold it in anymore. Baby, will you listen? Will you let me pour out what I should have said long ago? Because my soul is begging for release, and the only way it finds peace is when it's speaking to you. You are my safe place, even after all this time, and I don't want to hide from you anymore. Send yes if your heart feels this truth. Baby, the hardest thing about carrying this secret is that it was never meant to be mine alone. It was ours from the beginning, because it lived in the spaces between us, in the pauses when I should have spoken, in the nights when you felt me drift, even though I swore I was right there. I thought silence would protect you, but in reality, it only made you question yourself, and that is something I will never forgive myself for. Because you deserved clarity. You deserved truth. You deserved a man who would rather shatter than let you drown in doubt. Do you remember those moments when you'd ask me if everything was okay, and I'd say yes too quickly? My eyes said no, my energy said no, my silence screamed no, but my lips still shaped the word yes. That was the secret in motion. That was me pretending to carry a weight I couldn't, and each time I lied, I felt a part of me fracture. I watched you reach for me in those moments, trying to hold on to something I wasn't brave enough to hand you. You must have felt it, baby. You must have sensed there was more underneath, because your soul was too wise not to. And I saw it in your eyes, the way you studied me, the way you tried to read between the cracks, the way you prayed that one day I'd just tell you the truth. The truth is, I was ashamed. Ashamed of my past, ashamed of my scars, ashamed of the broken pieces I carried like unburied ghosts. I thought if I kept them hidden, I could build a future with you that was clean, untainted, perfect. But all I really did was build a house on a foundation of silence. And silence is fragile. It collapses the moment storms hit. And when storms came, I froze instead of fighting. I let you face questions you never should have faced. I let you wonder if you were enough. And that silence has been my punishment every single day since. I never told you how much I feared losing you. Not in the way most people fear being abandoned, but in the way a drowning man fears losing his only breath of air. You were that breath, you were that light, and that terrified me, because it meant I had something to lose. Before you, I could pretend nothing mattered. Before you, I could hide behind masks and convince myself I didn't care. But with you, everything mattered. Every word, every glance, every silence. And instead of cherishing that, I let fear convince me I wasn't worthy. That's the weight I've been carrying, not just the secret of my silence, but the secret of my unworthiness. I never believed I deserved you. And baby, when a man believes he doesn't deserve the love he's been given, he starts sabotaging it without even realizing. I picked fights I didn't mean. I pulled away when I should have held closer. I shut down when all I wanted was to collapse into your arms and let you remind me I was safe. I built distance when all I craved was closeness. I hurt you when all I wanted was to love you. That is the truth I have carried like poison. But baby, carrying it alone hasn't set me free. It's only burned me from the inside out. I see you in my dreams, not as you were in the last days, but as you were in the beginning. Soft, hopeful, open. And in those dreams, you ask me again, what's wrong? And in those dreams, I finally answer. I tell you everything. I confess the fear, the shame, the lies I told myself about who I was. And every time you don't run, you don't leave. You hold me. And that dream is what keeps me alive, even as reality keeps me apart from you. Baby, I can't live in dreams anymore. I can't keep holding on to a fantasy of confession when the truth is begging to be spoken here and now. So here I am, saying it to you, with no mask, no shield, no excuse. I was a coward. I let fear speak louder than love. I let silence bury words that should have been spoken. And the secret I've carried all this time is that my love for you was never small, never unsure, never fading. It was overwhelming. It was terrifying. It was so much bigger than anything I had ever known, and I didn't know how to hold it without dropping it. You once told me, I just want you to be honest, even if it hurts, and I failed you in that. I thought sparing you from my shadows would protect your light, but the truth is, your light was strong enough to hold it, strong enough to heal it, strong enough to love me through it. I just never gave you the chance, and that is the regret I carry heavier than any other. Baby, we need to talk, because this weight doesn't belong in silence anymore. It belongs in the open, where love can finally breathe again. And if you still have space in your heart to hear me out, I promise I'll never let silence win again. Say, don't feel this truth, because sometimes healing begins with acknowledgement. Baby, I need you to understand something that I never had the courage to put into words before. Carrying this secret hasn't just been about protecting myself. It has been about protecting the fragile image I thought I had to hold in front of the world. I was so scared that if I let you see the whole of me, if I let you into the darkest corners, you'd see someone unworthy of the love you poured into me so freely. And that fear, that shame, that belief that I had to appear strong even when I was breaking, it turned me into my own enemy. I built walls to keep you out, and every brick I laid was made of silence. But baby, what I didn't realize until it was too late is that every wall I built was also a wall that trapped me inside with my own torment. And the only key that could have freed me was the one I refused to hand you, the truth. I've watched my own lies suffocate me. I've watched my silence turn into distance. And I've watched your heart fight to love me through the cracks without ever knowing why I kept pulling away. You thought it was you. You thought maybe your love wasn't enough. Maybe your presence wasn't strong enough. Maybe your soul wasn't what I wanted. But the truth, baby, is that it was always too much, in the most sacred way. You were more than enough, more than I had ever prayed for, more than I thought was possible for a man like me to receive. And that's why I hid, because I didn't think I could rise to meet what God had placed in front of me. Do you know what it feels like to have your prayers answered and then run from them because they scare you? That's what I did with you. I prayed for peace, and you showed up with a calmness that quieted storms inside me I thought would never end. I prayed for love, and you showed up with devotion that never wavered, even when I gave you every reason to walk away. I prayed for healing, and you showed up with patience that held my trembling hands when I couldn't hold myself. And instead of stepping into that miracle, I convinced myself I wasn't ready. I wasn't worthy. I wasn't enough. So I pushed you away, thinking I was sparing you, when really, I was just breaking both of us. The secret that is burned inside me isn't just that I was afraid. It's that I knew the truth all along. I knew you were the one. I knew no matter how much time passed, no matter who else tried to stand beside me, no one could replace the way my soul felt safe with you. And carrying that knowing while watching the distance grow between us has been the slowest form of torture I could have ever imagined. Because every time I tried to move on, every time I tried to bury your memory, life reminds me. Through dreams, through songs, through the smallest details, that I can't escape what is divinely written. And baby, you need to know this. There were nights when I would sit in silence, staring at the phone, desperate to call you, desperate to tell you everything, desperate to break down the walls I had built with my own fear. But I didn't, and you know why? Because I thought you deserved someone better, someone without the scars, without the shame, without the shadows that drag me into shadows. I thought letting you go was mercy, but it was really just cowardice dressed as sacrifice.